I love that so much. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Nice to see you. We would have been on earlier, but we were having a conversation earlier that we can't have here.
No.
So,
I don't know what
welcome.
you're talking about.
Lachlan, that song in the intro, is that Elvis?
I love me some Elvis.
I love me some inside jokes.
Listen, you guys are going to get mad. I'll tell you I'm not going to tell you the extent of the conversation, but
Please
Lachlan
don't.
and I both used to work with handicap people. Welcome to the program, by the way, everybody. My name is Dean. That's Lachlan. That is James
And
D.
it wasn't
Fiore.
on a podcast.
No. No.
Now
That would
outtakes for the DVD.
Probably the number one podcast in the world if we did one, though. So, you know. But we got lots of stuff to go on. We're talking about the fake Karen convoy and why you should not trust your politicians. We're going to dunk or pass on Meatloaf today, which will be fun. We'll play a little Is This
I have
Racist?
lots to say about Meatloaf today.
I know you do. We'll talk about Neil Young trying to get rid of Joe Rogan and Spotify. It's all fun today, everybody. And we'll also unmask a bunch of neocon journalists here on this very program that were too stupid to be actual journalists, so they bought the whole fucking Karen convoy trucker bit. Anyway, fun show, but the reason why we were a little bit late, and it just kind of gets you, is Lachlan and I both used to work with handicapped people, and it was like one of the pleasures of my life. I was like 21, 22. For 2-3 summers, I worked with people at Camp Hee-Ho-Ha, not far from where Lachlan lives, as a matter of fact. Worked at group homes with mentally and physically challenged people of varying degrees, and we were just talking about some of the stories and some of the commonalities. Like, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people with Down syndrome love Elvis. Like, love Elvis.
Yeah.
Love Elvis.
Yeah.
Love Elvis. And we
you
had
want
this
to get a
talent show.
dance party going?
Yeah, throw on some Elvis.
Throw on some Elvis.
Yeah, at the
I
group
worked
home?
at the Clay Castle.
Oh,
in
did you?
Castlegar. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like the most rewarding thing in the world. And it also came with a variety of stories, like this one time where we put on a talent show for the campers, and it was Down Syndrome Week, and we had 12 people in the talent show. 10 people were doing an Elvis song, the dancing and the singing, and then you do the talent show and the awards. And one of the guys, his name was Alan. A lot of those guys were named Alan. This guy, Alan, lost and proceeded to take metal chairs and beat the living shit out of every other participant in the talent show until I ran back into the clothes closet, grabbed a Skidoo trophy, and went, you won. And he's like, I knew it. Out of the way.
It was just a
We
big
had campers lying in pools of their own blood. We had it all going on. This guy literally beat the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, but they had it coming.
Didn't
Well, yeah.
quite get the concept of the talent show, right?
No, it was win, lose, or die to him, right? And I like that. Win, lose,
Things
or die.
got rowdy at
Everyone's
the
gonna
Elvis
die
party.
If I lost.
So I worked at the Clay Castle, like I said, in Castlegar, and it was a group home. So a lot of the challenges were based on the fact that they were born to older parents, and then the parents passed on.
Right.
And then other family members didn't have the capacity to take them on. So they would end up in this group home. So my job as like an 18, 19-year-old kid was to take a bunch of them around the city to do lawn jobs. So I was a maintenance guy, right? So we had contracts with different places
Labor
around the city,
exploit.
and they also had a laundry facility in the building.
I gotta tell you,
They made wallets.
That sounds like a sweatshop operation.
You know what? Essentially, it was.
We burned
But
DVDs.
I'm sure there was some crooked shit going on. But anyway, they loved me. The handicapped people love animated individuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm loud and I use my hands, so I was quite popular. But it was a lot of work. It was a
Is that why we
struggle
like
every
them?
day. You had to get this group into the van. I had to pack the van with I basically did all the work. If I put Ernie in charge of the lawnmower, if you didn't watch, Ernie was one of the only guys that could do a turn. And then
Whose
Archie.
business idea was this to stick an 18-year-old with a half a dozen mentally challenge people in a van with a bunch of sharp tools
I was
again?
on my own because all
What
of the other
organization was this? Like
all the other people at the group home were like raging drunks, right? They would show up and you could smell booze on them at like 8 o'clock in the morning. They were drinking in the car on the way. Like it's a difficult.
Did they work in radio?
Hang on, I gotta stop you there. Everything you're describing to me is you call it. You said it's the Claymore Center or whatever the fuck it was called.
The Clay Castle.
You know what it was? It's a temp agency where they can go and hire handicap people to work for next to free. They just need one capable adult to drive them around. That's literally
they got
all.
Lachlan as an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh man, and if I wasn't paying attention, Sarah would be spraying down Archie, right? And then Archie'd lie down and cry. Ernie got really upset. Ernie was good because Ernie could mow and he knew to turn, right? Archie, I had to yell, turn! But Ernie knew that he had to actually cut the grass.
Wait a second. So Archie, like if he did a line all the way up to a house and he ran into the house, he would just go nuts? Like he wouldn't. He was like, fuck, I can't go any further.
I'd have to go and
turn him around
and get him back on track. If I wasn't paying attention, Archie would he'd be going
like Bonzi with a snowblower.
Yeah. Basically, one day I forgot to check to see if there was gas in the mower, and it ran out of gas. Ernie laid down beside it and started crying, and I had to get him in the van. We had to go home. Like the whole day was ruined.
It'd be funny if the lawnmower's name was Johnny. And he just like,
and of course they're giving me like 5 handicapped adults, right, to supervise through the course of the day, and all they want to eat constantly, right? Like it's full on babysitting, right? And and it was fantastic. I loved it, and like you said, Dean, it was very rewarding.
Most rewarding thing.
But
except for the time that 12 to 14 campers played mini golf. Just reprise this story for you. I'm 21. I'm a camp counselor for extremely disabled people. There are a lot of clients in helmets and overalls and
some violence, like
a lot of jogging pants, a lot of violence. You got always on the. When I started working there was a whole section on client masturbation, and I was like, "What's this?" Client masturbation.
You get a briefing on masturbation when you start.
Because what you don't know is adults of varying mental incapacities, differently abled adults, let's call them that, differently capable, handy-capable adults, when they get frustrated, sometimes just as a natural reaction, they masturbate. Doesn't matter where they are.
Yeah. You
so,
could be in Max getting a Slurpee for everybody.
The same way.
And then is that what they call it now?
They might not have
There's Ernie getting Slurpee.
Treat. Ernie's like, fuck this. I guess I got to masturbate because there's no Tahiti treat. Like, that's what happens. So we're playing mini golf, and we're getting ready to go to the zip line. And one of our clients misses a putt, and one of the other clients starts laughing, campers. And that client then just slowly laid down, pulled his pants out, started to masturbate. That started what I like to refer to as masturbation dominoes. Of the 12 campers, at least 7 of them decided, I guess it's masturbation time. And they all did the same thing. Now, what they teach you when you go through your training, when you're working with these handy-capable adults, is you
can't make fun of them.
You cannot make fun of them. You cannot draw negative attention to it. You need to just move on.
So, can you masturbate?
No, I think it's against the rules.
Like, you mean join in on that?
I don't see why can they do it and you can't.
This is bullshit.
Like I said, when I worked with the handicapped, it wasn't on a podcast.
That was a good one.
I didn't even
think of that. I've known that story for 30 years, and I'm like, maybe I should have started whacking off with this guy. But anyway, so jizz is flying. And I'm standing off to the side with my putter in my hand going,
yeah.
And my friend Kirk goes, you better get the non-masturbators to the zip line stat. And I'm like, to the zip line, and everybody's jerking off, and it's broad daylight. It's like 11 o'clock in the morning, right? We just finished archery, which in itself was a lot of fun to watch. But anyway, we get to the masturbation mini golf thing, and finally everybody's up in the thing getting ready to do zip line, and all the masturbators start lining up. And when I tell you, and I apologize for how graphic this is, you haven't lived until you've tried to surgically attach a harness for a zip line onto a human being that has just finished masturbating all over himself.
Yeah. Well, he'll probably stick in the harness, wouldn't he?
Anyway, it was very rewarding.
You know what's been rewarding? Watching you guys tap dance around this conversation has been the most rewarding thing I've seen in weeks.
I think we laid it right out there.
Yeah, it was
I think
perfect.
we did really well.
It's
I think we're
interesting
fussy.
because
think so
Dean
too,
and I
James.
have a lot of similarities in
That's right.
not just our radio career, but also little things like this.
It's
So
fucked up.
We'll be chatting on the phone, and he'll go, I worked with the handicap, and he-ho-ha. And I'm like, what?
I don't work with it, but they come into the library, and there's one named Matthew, and he looks like a French chef. He's probably like 40. He's got like a mustache that goes like this, and it's real.
Yeah,
You know, and he's tall. He walks in. He's like, "Hello, James." That's how he talks, right? And I'm like, "Hey, Matthew," and then he'll go and sit at the computer and stuff. And everyone that he sees, "Hello, Karen. Hello, Jim." Like it's all like that. But I work in the store next door once a week, the hippie store, and he was in there, and I walked in, and he was like, he walked up to this woman and started stroking her arms. Both her arms and just making this sound up and down her arms, and I'm like, Jesus fuck. I'm like, Matthew. He's like, James, and he just keeps doing it. And I walk up to the lady and she waves me away, and
let him
to
do
her
it.
credit, she just de-escalated him. She's like, they're my arms, but they're my arms. Can I have them back? And he's like,
exactly
okay.
what my wife
Wants
does.
it.
It's my wife's job. My wife works with dementia patients, right? Like dementia residents, and it's the exact same thing. She's told me, I'm like, what happened? And she's like, oh, this person like grabbed me by the throat. I'm like, did you kick him in the nuts? And, oh no, you just tell them this and you do this and you do these non-violent. I'm like, no, you had the Irish kiss and get the fuck out of there. But
Yeah.
she's trained in how to do it a lot nicer than I am.
Yeah, I wasn't really trained in any of it. I just kind of was like, I don't know.
I don't know if you can
sidestepped the
prepare for
jizz.
what
I
you
think I
just
nailed
told
the
us.
day.
We had a student in high school that had the masturbation problem in class. Same
Yeah.
thing, but she had an EA that would
She?
and she would get wheeled out to complete her journey
Her
outside.
business, yeah.
She can come back.
That's a big
and-
one. That's when you know, like, if you ever get caught masturbating in public, that's when you know you have a problem.
Or you could just
Put on
pretend
an
that
act.
you're special needs, and they'll
Put
just
on
leave
an
you
act.
alone.
Put on an
What
act.
kind of monster would pretend they're special needs, though?
Tell them your name
You
is
know what? That's
Ernie.
actually, if you get caught masturbating in public, pretending you're handicapped is not a terrible idea.
Right? Tell them you're Ernie and you're
I
mad
will
about the
go
Tahiti
back.
treat.
I will
Yeah,
go
bye.
back to the
I'll let you know how it
previous
goes.
statements about taking advice from this show.
You tried to get people to shit in those pink robot boxes. Fuck. Don't get on your high horse
That's
now.
Did you
Funny
see some of those? Did you see some of those delivery robots that were going during that snowstorm that all got lined up and stuck in the snowdrift? You see that? And I was looking at a picture of it yesterday because we had another like 20,000 of them get stuck in the city of Toronto. These robot delivery carts all get stuck because they didn't think of snow. I guess I don't know.
Have
And-
any of them been
Robot
hit by a
delivery
car?
cart? What are you
Dude,
talking
when
about?
I saw all
You
those
remember
pictures. Yeah, I saw those. Dude, there's a ton
We
of
have
pictures of
robots
these
that deliver
delivery
things?
robots in Toronto. Yeah, dude, rolling around delivering food to like
first
different
time I've ever
buildings
heard
and
of
stuff
it.
like that. Oh fuck, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
Are
and
they
they all
like
got
short
stuck in the
circuit? Like-
storm. Yeah, exactly.
did it-
No,
we had a
not
show
with a
on
head.
them.
It looks like a little cooler with feet.
Yeah.
Don't you
Yeah.
remember when Locke and I were like, if I
Gonna shit
walk
in
by
it.
that thing, how do you avoid not shitting in the top of it? Like if
It'd
you're
be the
us.
first thing I'd want to do.
Why is this the first time hearing it? How long have these things been around?
Because, dude, like it was early in our podcast days, and you've done a lot of drugs in your life.
It
so
was
it's
it
probably
was
the
actually
reason.
true, Dean.
it was
Yeah.
actually the first show I was ever on the show.
Oh, was it
we talked
really?
about those
How
robots.
do you
yeah.
remember that?
Well,
and
because
also,
it
who
was
says
the first
brains
time I was
fry
on
your
the show.
drugs? Seriously.
Who says brains fry your drugs?
Did you see the videos of those robots though, Dean? When they were actually
Yeah, I'll get a
they
picture.
were
I'll get a video
they
now.
talk to people. The robot starts asking for help. Please move me. Please help me. Please get me unstuck.
Is it,
fuck okay
is
this?
it the guy that's operating it
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
India
like an
or
intercom. Yeah.
wherever?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got it now. Yeah,
Pakistan.
dude, this is fucking awesome.
They would
This is
never do
incredible.
this in Edmonton.
This is incredible, dude. I can't believe, James, you didn't know about this. Like, it was
I
a big
didn't know
issue
that-
this winter.
Like, are you guys punking me right now? Trying
No,
to
like,
somehow believe
no.
something
that
like
fucked up?
38
This is a
million
dead
went into
story.
the robot delivery thing here in the city of Toronto, and of the 38 million, something like 70% of the delivery robots ended up like this, which makes me laugh every time I look at it.
What the fuck?
Where's
I
my
can't
fucking
believe-
Subway sandwich?
Yeah,
I can't believe you haven't.
My dump.
Cat litter? Look at it. It looks like a fucking litter box. I don't know.
Danny in the comments
Do
says
they
that they're
have
banned by
cameras?
Toronto Council now, eh?
Do they have camera? Not that this is going to stop me if they ever bring these things to Edmonton, but do they have cameras on them?
No.
Yes.
Where they can see
I
you?
thought they did.
Oh, yeah, maybe they do. I don't know. Fuck. I lied.
This is the stupidest idea I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
It
it's
really is.
stupid.
This is Mel Lastman stupid. That's how stupid. God rest your
Hold
soul
it,
and all
Ryan.
that shit, but-
Yeah.
Ryan, did you say that Toronto City Council banned these because they're a hazard? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, it's Danny in the comments says that City Council recently banned them.
Awesome.
I'm gonna.
They
try
don't
and
look.
confirm that.
That's
Can
too
you
bad
imagine,
because
imagine
I
approving
really.
this though. Imagine that meeting. Okay, so what we have, Mr. Mayor, is a it's basically a refurbished cat litter box, and we put some wheels on it,
a
and we're gonna
cooler.
just send them out, and we're gonna
It's
see
a
how it
cooler with
goes. and
wheels.
It's gonna be great.
I'll
It's
tell you
literally
what-
a cooler with fucking wheels.
But I'll tell you what ends up happening with these councilors. They don't want to be perceived as being a stumbling block or a roadblock to progress, right? Because that's how these ideas are all presented. Oh, you have to, all major metropolitans cities are now like 15 or 25% bike lanes. So do you want to be behind the curve?
I just read that in
Yes, it's
Edmonton they're
6
going to build
months.
delivery lanes next to the bike lanes for these delivery
Oh,
lanes.
at some point it's going to be illegal to actually drive downtown.
Here's a video
Like,
of them
we're
getting
to that point.
stuck in literally an inch and a half of snow. This
So
is
funny.
this is the fucking first time it snows, and they had 30 million worth of these things roaming around in the city of Toronto. They're now defunct. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. They can't move.
Help me. Help me. Look at this
I
wheels.
love it.
Who wants
They
it?
got spin, 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 spin. There you
Oh.
go,
This is
everybody.
this is like the outtakes in the movie Wall-E.
Short circuit. The director's
Anyway,
cut.
from
I
one-
Yeah, the pink-
promise
those
you,
pink ones
I
that-
promise you guys that if they bring those to Edmonton, I'm gonna find one, and there will be a video online of me taking a shit in one.
You just use it as a
The
beer cooler,
day
though.
they
You
get
know, you don't have to add
introduced.
shit to everything, Lachlan.
yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I would do. It's funny because Locke and I, when we first saw those, like a 6-8 months ago,
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what I'd do in it? Inside one of those things if I came across it, and he goes, take a crap. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I know, right?
Exactly
Like, it
it.
was a legitimate conversation between two normal adults saying, I'd take a shit in that delivery box, no problem.
That would be a better invention if all those delivery boxes were just
Were
these
toilets.
toilets that roamed this city looking for people who had to take shits. That's a
Over
better
here,
invention.
over here, hang on. You just crouch, take a dump in it,
Yeah.
it takes off, releases the dump, comes back, just roams parks for people that have to take a shit.
What
Okay,
would you like
now-
my name to be? And I'd be
Not
like,
a
"Stepmother."
terrible idea either.
Spit in
James,
me.
the reason why this isn't an awful idea is because they're actually dealing with a problem in
Yeah.
some of the, like in California specifically, right? Obviously, it's weather induced, but there's also a massive homeless issue in California, like San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles. I mean, they talk about the homeless encampments and stuff like that, and they don't have bathrooms, so they're just shitting on the streets. There is
Yeah.
actually a proposal in one of the towns, and I don't know if this is a fake
San
article,
Francisco had a big problem with this. In the
with
last 10
shitting in the
years.
streets. So they
Yeah.
now want to create a parking ban. They're actually talking about this in some city hall somewhere in California, where on certain days you are not allowed to park on one side of the street or the other because they got to go through with trucks to clean up the human feces.
Alternate
People are
side
just
shitting.
taking a dump on the road.
It's going to be like parking bans in
Right.
neighborhoods when it snows in
Yeah.
Edmonton, but it's going to be like shit days. On Saturday, you can't park on the north side of the street because they got to clean the shit off the streets.
Oh my
Human
God.
shit.
Human.
Oh, I thought you
shit
meant Hollywood
is such a
producers.
problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane? That's
alternate
We
the
have
side
fucking
shitting.
derailed as a society when they've got
Rather than-
parking rules for people so they can take a shit on the street
dude.
in the United
rather
States.
than deal with the fact that someone is shitting on the street, we're creating parking rules to adapt to the fact that people are shitting on the streets.
Was it because like restaurants and that were closed because of COVID and they didn't have access to them, or
They never
what's-
let them in the restaurant.
I think
Well,
it's a
some of them-
homeless issue, from my understanding, especially in San Francisco. And this has been going on for like 7 to 10 years, and they've really tried to clean it up, and they can't. And so they've effectively just let people build whatever cities they want, and they're just trying to work around them now. That's my understanding. So
Jesus
so it's
Christ.
like, you know, you can, because I was talking to Bonzi about it when he came on the show and he was staying in LA. Remember that? And he was like, dude, there's fucking homeless people tweaking out everywhere, taking a dump on the sidewalk and all that stuff. So it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
I mean-
not a terrible idea. What I'm saying is turn these fucking things into toilets, right? Seriously. Just turn them into roving shitters in California.
The biggest
Serious.
problem too, right? Like if you're a homeless person and you're going to try to get them in the Chevron to let you take a shit in the bathroom,
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
fucking way. Because that kid, that 24-year-old kid, he's got a gun.
Yeah.
Right? He's armed. Right? He's behind glass, and he's already a little like nervous,
On edge. Yeah.
on edge. And he's gonna. So the homeless guy knows that he's not going to go in there and ask to use the bathroom because he's gonna get some buckshot in him, right?
Yeah. Plus, there's certain bathrooms that even homeless people won't use. Gas station bathrooms are one of them. I'm convinced the end of the world is going to be born inside the bathroom of an SO or some kind of Pioneer gas somewhere in northern Alberta.
You
Like
could call
too
them
many
deuce
people.
machines.
Deuce
Come here, Deuce.
machines. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Come here, Deuce.
Anyway,
Coming, sir. Yeah.
off the taking a shit and delivery carts and onto the major issue Canada seems to be struggling with. Ryan wrote the definitive article about it a couple of days ago. I know you talked about it today, Locke. The great trucker Karen Convoy grift of 2022. Now 4.2 million raised by some washed up hair metal singer in Alberta named Tamara Litch. And she doesn't have a job. She's got no connection to truckers, but she's managed to skeef probably, I think, 4.2 million in her GoFundMe account. And this thing has exploded, has it not? Did you talk about it this morning on your radio show?
Well, the reason why we ended up talking about it was the fact that GoFundMe has frozen that account. So if they get suspicious about activity on their site, they will freeze the funds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what happened, and my guess is that somebody at some point did a little bit of investigative reporting, and
This guy right here. This guy
and
did it.
was it you? Do you think that?
Oh, yeah.
that GoFundMe.
Can I let me just explain to you how this whole thing worked, Ryan? If you don't mind, I'm going to intercede on your behalf
Go ahead.
Because I read your article.
honk your fucking horn. So this
I'll
thing
take
starts cooking on Saturday morning. Is that correct? Is that when it started? The Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote the article on Sunday, but yeah, it started a couple of days. There's been rumblings since like the beginning of like last week, and
Right.
That there was
Now-
a GoFundMe for this convoy.
right.
Correct.
It was
Mundo.
attached to the convoy.
Yeah.
Correctamundo. Now, here's the thing: is that there are like several different mainstream media outlets that covered this like it was a legitimate thing. It's not. It's a fucking prank. Like there was really no convoy to speak up whatsoever. Like zero. And so once Ryan wrote that definitive piece, it literally went viral. I think last check, it had like 280,000 views across this country. And we've been getting requests. Ryan hasn't seen these. I have requests for people to use some of the information from it. And mainstream media covered the shit out of this to start. Like CTV was all over it. The Toronto Star was all over it. There's a bunch of different MSM outlets that were fucking all over this thing, which Ryan informed us all the day previous was a prank, and he had an article coming out about it, right? So we started seeing CTV, CBC, Rogers, all these. CBC was one of the best. They're like, this is egregious against truckers. Here was the rub. In case anybody, I'll go through the Coles notes real quick. Unvaccinated prank a la Chris Sky. Just think of it like that. There was this group in Alberta that knew they could drive huge dark money, and they did, 4.5 million, which has now been frozen because they've got no access to it because it's ridiculous. And the goal was to support unvaccinated truckers, if I'm not understanding this correctly, support unvaccinated truckers who lost their jobs and wouldn't be allowed to stay in hotels or eat in certain places or gas up at certain gas stations, All of that is a lie. All of it. All of the truckers in Canada that are not vaccinated have been told they're more than willing, they're more than allowed, in fact, encouraged, and they're trying to hire vaccinated and unvaccinated truckers right now. Doesn't matter about your vaccination status, to make sure that the supply chain continues to go, right? Like, that's legitimately. So anybody,
You can't
any trucker
cross
that
borders,
wasn't,
though.
hold it. That's a U.S. thing. That's not a Canada thing.
That's what I was going to say. I wanted to make sure
Exactly.
that we clarified that. The freest country in the world, the one that some Canadians think that is going to save their souls from the anarchy here in Canada and the communist government. I'm not a huge fan of JT either, and I think we have some problems of our own politically. But the freest country in the world will not let unvaccinated travelers or truckers into their country. Yet, 40% of their population is unvaccinated.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
Clarity.
Doesn't matter. Hypocrisy is what it is. Yeah, no, it's great clarity to have because what those truckers did, and it wasn't the truckers that were doing it. Like, the Canadian Trucker Association came out and was like, you guys are fucked. Like, I don't know who these people are. You know who it was? The same people that show up to protest. This is one of the gatherings on the 401. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 semi trucks. You know what the rest are? Just assholes. Assholes in their car.
Yeah, everybody
just
in
fucking
this
tagging onto this whole thing to try and make it look like that there's a major uprising in Canada. There is not one. There are, I don't know, 100 vehicles here. This was the biggest one, just outside of Toronto. This was the biggest. They said there would be 500,000 people clogging up major arteries across Canada. That never happened. And they said they were going to go to Ottawa. Now, here's where it gets really fucking interesting. Is not only did someone steal $4.5 million from people, claiming this bogus like fundraiser would help all these truckers who are working and are allowed to sleep in their own cabs, so there's no need for a fucking hotel and can gas up anywhere they want unvaccinated. Doesn't matter.
But
They
how
said
else
that
are you going
that's
to
what
rip
it's
people
for.
off? Like,
Great question. Great question. But you know who grabbed onto this fucking thing? You know who grabbed on it, which is amazing to me? All the politicians.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
not
this
just
is a
politicians.
conservative wet dream.
And I'll tell you who started it. This was the brainchild of Erin O'Toole and your boy, Jason Kenney. And I'll show you how. Remember, Jason Kenney was like, these store shelves are disgusting. Do you remember that tweet, Locke? You remember this little tweet from Jason Kenney?
Yeah,
I'm getting pictures like this from grocery stores across Alberta this morning. This is your leader. This is turning into a crisis. Requires immediate action by the Canadian and U.S. governments. Let me just quickly go through these shelves. That's a picture from 2 years ago at the start of the pandemic. He's talking about cross-border supply chain. This is 100% Canadian. So this is a Canadian problem. The dumb fuck didn't even bother to look at the picture. Whatever.
where's all our Canadian meat from Delaware? What the fuck?
Or as Dean said yesterday, where's our Ohio chicken?
Where's the fucking Ohio Canadian chicken? These two pictures right here, this one and this one, the two on the left, or sorry, the right, they're from a Walmart in Nebraska. We've sourced this material. This is a Walmart in Nebraska. These are 2 years old. This picture here on the left, that is, I believe, a Food Basics, if I'm not mistaken, from my understanding. And this is just after a big snowstorm in, I believe, Nova Scotia, where they, as you can see, we're just getting ready to restock the shelves. You can see so Jason Kenney, the leader of the Albertan UCP caucus, the premier, and the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, Erin O'Toole, legitimately helped cook this whole fucking thing up. Because what they wanted to do was look like they were standing up for vaccines and vaccine mandates and standing against it. Hang on. And they legitimately on purpose appropriated pictures that not only had nothing to do with any supply chain issue. There is no supply chain issue. The stores are basically full, packed. I talked to fucking 15 grocery stores yesterday. I talked to Loblaws, Fortinos. I talked to Walmart. I talked to Costco. I did that work. Hey, how are the store shelves? 4 or 5 of the people I spoke to are like, can you stop calling us? This was a prank. That's all it
Well,
was.
hold on.
That's it.
Where
There's
did
nothing going on other
where
than
did it
fucking
start,
conservative
though?
politicians legitimately stealing our fucking peace of mind. They use this as a fucking paranoia piece to come after fucking Canadians who are mentally exhausted at the end of this thing. Like, fuck you, dude. Erin O'Toole, Jason Kenney are political leaders, and I see it more on the conservative side, and that's as far as I'm willing to go to talk about conservatives and liberals. Fuck them all. Fuck them all.
Yeah.
This was a fucking lie, and they're caught in this lie. They've been caught in this lie to the point where Evan Solomon on Power and Politics, I like Evan. I think he's a good dude. I know him a little bit. He asked Erin O'Toole, hey, tell us about this fucking fake trucker thing, big fella. Watch how fucking embarrassing Erin O'Toole is here. Fucking gross.
Just for the record, if the truckers show up on Parliament Hill, sir, will you meet them, or yes or no?
We've been meeting with them for the last few months, and I will continue to meet this week and into the weekend with truckers and with the industry, both individual people suffering, but also the industry.
Right.
3 weeks ago, Evan,
but I'm talking about the convoy. I'm talking about the so-called freedom convoy.
Problem, which would actually tackle the supply chain shortage. Mr. Trudeau's making inflation worse through his overspending, through his lack of attention on issues like the shortages, and with the fact that he's continuing to just divide people and not deliver on the essential things we need in this pandemic.
What a smarmy, dumb fuck. Erin O'Toole is a dumb fuck. He just sat there. Hang on, let me say. He just sat there when asked if he was going to meet with the trucker convoy and said, I'll meet with truckers. I like truckers. And then when he was asked again, no, but are you going to meet with the fake convoy of losers who are neither truckers nor are they being inconvenienced, and nor is there a supply chain issue? He went back and is like, I talked to Trudeau about it.
Okay, so I'm confused
Fuck,
here.
Dumb fuck. He's a dumb
I
fuck.
understand that this was a grift, but it did start from something, did it not, Ryan? Was this the trucker convoy?
No.
Was it completely started by somebody that was trying to raise money for the GoFundMe thing?
Yes.
Which is being run by the Maverick Party secretary, Tamara Litch, which is really odd because it's really odd because she's literally taking the UCP, the PC, the CPC is all out taking, credit for it and pushing it, but they're not getting that money. The Maverick Party people are. So they're literally fundraising for an opposition party right now.
You know what they're doing? Locke, let me explain this to you. It's like you taking a picture
there was
of
something there with the convoy, though. I thought there was actually a group
there
of
is
truckers
nothing.
that
there
were...
are
Okay.
a few truckers and mostly people in trucks, Toyota Corollas, used Jeeps, that kind of stuff. A lot of pickup trucks that are on their way to Ottawa to waste their fucking time to say we don't want to get vaccinated. It's the same fucking thing. It's
Never
the same
trust
dumb
people
shit.
with a
Every
Jeep.
single fuck. I never trust
don't.
someone in a Jeep either. It's a great point.
This is like a colossally cheap attempt to astroturf based on an issue that is current, right? That's so they took the mandate that exists at the border and they pasted it onto the entire industry. I guess they made it seem like it was a Trudeau idea. Raised $4 million from people somehow, $4.5 million from people somehow, and then because
Bring those phones.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like all of those images that were like image searched, how many out of 10 came up to be like a legit grocery store present day can't find food?
Not one.
So
Zero. I want you to pay attention to me because this is the next part of my dissertation that you will all greatly enjoy.
Can I say one last thing? Because I
would
don't
hope
know.
you can.
I think this was a staffer idea. I mean, it's not very sophisticated. It wouldn't be that long lasting. And then the money thing, it's way too hot for a politician to touch on his own premeditatively. But I think a staffer like just bit off more than they could chew, and then they just went with it. It became a talking point on their card.
You mean in the support of it? Because I think it was like I think Lachlan's onto something where it wasn't an organization or an individual specifically. It was a a grassroots, like it gained steam on social media, obviously.
Yeah.
And then they saw it and said, this is a grift for us. We can raise money. We can get our face out there. But now it's going to backfire because there's literally the extremist end of this is calling for insurrection style assaults on Ottawa. They're asking for truck drivers to drive through fucking walls in Ottawa, and let's have our
That's
own
what
thing.
astroturfing is, though. I don't think it did start organically grassroots. I think the pictures, if I'm not mistaken, were fairly quick out of the gate, right? And then it just sort of
you're
trying
right.
to establish. What was the tweets from the from O'Toole and Kenny? Was that the starting point there, or was there something?
No, it was already moving by the time they started attaching their name to it, and that's why I thought maybe
because we've been seeing
James is right. Because
it has political operative all over this.
Yeah, but I think it was after the fact. They just saw it and it's exploded it because of them seeing it and jumping in on it and trying to take advantage of the situation. I think you're right. I think a staffer probably just like the Doug Ford shovel fucking gate.
Listen, I don't want to confuse issues here at all. And I know Dean wants to queue up a video here, but I do want to say this. When my wife has sent me to the store, I have had a really hard time finding kale. So.
All right, we'll keep your secret.
I think you've just inserted a humorous life hack here where we can use this to show up at home with the shit we don't want to,
telling you, honey,
to eat.
Fucking kale. Supply chain issues.
Honey, supply chain. It's the Trudeau. No zucchinis. No zucchinis. Blame Trudeau.
Listen,
honey, where's the
really
quinoa?
Wanted a squash tonight too.
No fiddleheads.
Yeah, babe. Supply chain. No Brussels sprouts. What the fuck, right? I was so stoked to eat your Brussels sprouts.
I was so angry.
Tonight. So what did
yes,
you
these
get?
are Pop-Tarts.
Food section and beef jerky.
I got McDonald's.
Ton of it. I had no problem with beef jerky.
Yeah, honey, they had supply chain issues, so no Brussels sprouts. So I got a 12-pound Kit Kat.
That's all they had. The
so
factories
anyway,
in Canada.
My point, going back to the original thing. Fuck, that was a brilliant little aside there. I loved it. That's a nice way to do it. I'm gonna start telling my kids there's supply chain issues when I don't want to buy them shit now. Sorry, blame Trudeau.
Welcome.
Yeah,
You're
your
welcome.
new computer's just never coming now.
Yeah, fucking Trudeau.
Fucking Trudeau.
Back to the pictures. To James's point, where did they come from? I have news for you. I'll tell you where they came from. This is 2020 in Calgary. I'll tell you, you know the one that Melissa Lantsman? You know, this lady, the conservative lady who bought into it, and her boss is like, put this up. Do you know where this came from? Empty grocery store, Chevlas, misspelled shelves, could become a larger problem. You know where this came? Because this is what kind of started it all, because all the cons jumped on this. Erin O'Toole retweeted it, and then Kenny retweeted it. They all got on the same thing. They all talked. I know this for a fact because I talked to 4 of them this week. Is that they all talk, they're like, we need to get this out. We need to scare Canadians into thinking Trudeau has fucked up the supply chain. Totally untrue. I hate Justin Trudeau for a million other reasons. It ain't his fault. But where did this picture come from, to your point? Well, good one. You can buy it for $36. This is the stock photo from iStock. Young Caucasian female stands looking concerned at the empty shelves in the supermarket. Now, I'm going to take you back to where this is because this is beautiful. She also, you can get a picture of her looking in a United Kingdom. I actually have the store. And it's done by a fella at a Progress Report named Luke LeBrun. Great piece. It's a Lake and Dale's grocery store in Newcastle, England. That's where this Canadian photo was taken. And I am not lying.
And if you zoom in, you can actually see the pound symbol in the price tags on those shelves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Erin O'Toole, the leader of the Conservatives, sent that out. Jason Kenney sent that out. Every PC caucus around the country sent that out like it was legit. When asked about that, because he was asked about Melissa Lantsman specifically, who I lost all respect for when I saw that tweet. And I did tweet about it. Like zero respect. And I used to really respect. When asked about the Lantsman tweet, get a load of Erin O'Toole's double back here. It is like, it's the kind of thing you see drunk people do when they got caught with their dick in their hand at a party. Literally.
Will you meet these truckers? Will you go out and support these truckers when connection between the trucker mandate and empty grocery shelves. You know, she tweeted out a picture that this picture here. This was not a Canadian shelf. We found this, as everyone did, called on iStock. It was from Britain. It's a fake picture, as you know, so it's not actually a reflection of what's going on. So to get clarity, have you talked to Melissa Lantsman about tweeting out fake pictures, your own MP? And I just want it on the record. Do you support getting rid of the border mandate? Yes or no?
Evan, 3 weeks ago, as you know, I proposed a different solution other than the mandate to tackle the supply chain shortage and to make sure that thousands of people weren't put out of work at a time we need them on the roads. We are highlighting the same issues that the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, that most of the business groups in Canada are showing Canadians. There's already out of control inflation. Right. If we continue to see supply chain shortages from semiconductors right through to food, it's going to drive up inflation even more at a time that Canadians are already falling behind.
You listen to
you can
Evan
hear how
Solomon go,
disgusted
all
Evan
right,
is.
yeah, fuck, whatever, you dumb liar. You're so fucking stupid. It is hard to believe that you're actually a human being. Those were the noises I heard.
I would have cut him off halfway through saying, I'm sorry, it seems we have audio issues. Erin can't hear us. So
he was flailing.
Reconnect.
He was flailing his limbs so much.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to drop to the ground and just start masturbating.
Do you think he was prepared for? Like, do you think he knew that they were gonna throw?
Yeah, dude. Yes, he knew. He
Aaron
allowed the interview. Yes, he knew. He knew. Like,
Because most of the time they set him up. Like, he knows going in that they got the story about the fake pictures.
Can I just insert common sense here? So, and I'm not putting us at the center of the story. What I'm doing is I'm showing you another example of how to handle when you get caught in a national lie. Okay, it's just a thing. Last week with the snow job that Doug Ford did, we said Ivani Yelich was there, his press secretary. We thought there was a picture of her there. There was not. We looked for 2 days because the tweet went viral, and I'm like, can't take it down because like so many people
We're getting so many clicks.
Exactly. Like I'm like, my dopamine will deplete.
It's not her, but it's not her in the thing, and it wasn't one of my tweets, but I supported it and I loved all the clicks, and I'm like, we got to take it down. And so I took it down, right?
And you explained it.
And exactly. Explained it, took the heat for it, and moved on. Because if you're not going to be right, you fucking get out of the game. Just get out of the fucking game. Melissa Lantsman's tweet is still up, even though she knows it's a lie, with the petition attached to it to stop vaccine mandates, even though she knows it's a lie.
They keep doubling down. They just don't give
Erin
a fuck.
O'Toole.
They just
sat
don't
there.
care. Politicians
Dude,
just
he's
don't
been
care.
caught. These guys have been caught red fucking handed. Like, did you ever see Eddie Murphy Raw where the girl walks in on him? He's like, why you fucking, baby, I wasn't fucking nobody. And she's like, I saw you fucking. He's like, wasn't me. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing like him go, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. We're just here for the beer. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's like a national lie. It's a fucking embarrassment. And they won't stop. They keep digging.
And it did
Are
start
they
to
trying to
start
make
last week.
Are they trying to make it seem like it's okay? Look, the issue is about the shelves, not the specific picture. So we're going to talk about the issue and then use these stock pictures, and that's fine. And we'll pivot every time someone asks us.
Yeah.
Or are they saying these pictures are? They're not. No one is saying these pictures are legit, though, right?
They're not even like they've been asked about the pictures. Did you not see Evan Solomon go, "Hey, what about the fake picture?" And he's like,
Yeah.
We've been
Fish.
telling everybody, like, no fucking accountability at all. No, yeah, fuck, we got caught. You know, like I would have not all kinds, a little bit of respect, like a smidge, a morsel of respect, if in that interview with Evan Solomon, he was like, "Yeah, you caught us, you got us. Yeah, we tried to fuck old Trudeau, but fuck,
Yeah.
we fucked
or
ourselves."
even you just go like this. Well, we think that there are some issues that we don't agree with this government, and then one of my staffers fucked up and posted something that wasn't true. We're going to take it down. Sorry about that. What's your next question? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
and it would
we're
kill
living
it.
in a pandemic.
It would kill it
Cut
right
to
there.
the fucking chase. You know, like
Yeah.
Danny comments, I worked for Toronto City Council as an assistant councilor. If I ever tried this, I would have been shot. Bunch of fucking idiots is what it is.
Yeah. Well, what had
so,
happened?
I mean,
weapons all these days.
Where they got the idea was like 2 weeks ago, Fox did a hit piece on Biden about the supply chain issues. And they used a picture similar to this of a lady in a grocery store with empty shelves. Somebody literally took them seconds to see what Fox did, zoomed in, and it was a grocery store in Japan. And they saw the Japanese writing in the background and the signs and the price tags and everything else. So They saw this, saw how fast they got caught, and thought, wow, but you know what? It still went fucking viral, and the rubes ate this up. So I'm going to do that. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna try it and see if it'll
worked.
go over on Canadians.
Well,
and
we
seems to be in a certain aspect of our fucking.
We had an
population.
interesting. It progressed oddly on our show this morning, because the story now is that the GoFundMe, like that's the headline this morning. It's been frozen until they can figure out what the issue is or where this money is actually going. Okay. And listen, GoFundMe will do that. They will actually step in front of funds if there's any question marks about the legitimacy of where the campaign started. And GoFundMe has a reputation. This has nothing to do with fucking Trudeau. It has nothing to do with libs versus. This is a company that has to protect its reputation. And if everyone thinks that half the fucking half the campaigns on their site are fake, how are they going to actually get money? Right? Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's smart on GoFundMe's part. So
To
we
freeze
got to.
it?
What's that?
Smart to freeze it, you mean?
Yes, like it's
Yeah.
it's smart for them to have checks and balances with shit like this, right? If something looks a little suspicious, freeze the account, find out where it's going, do a little bit of research, and then release the funds or give it back to the people that donated. But
The fucked up part is that it's the most transparently awful and obvious grift, and it got more money than any GoFundMe project I've ever seen since this pandemic started.
Yeah.
Like the dumber it is, the more money it gets.
Well, now you know why the conservatives jumped in, right?
Great
but
point.
the thing is, so this
Oh,
morning,
no, and it's not just the conservatives, dude. Like Bernier and O'Toole both jumped all over this. Like they
Yeah.
both endeared themselves not to the movement, but the money that the movement had.
Yeah, they're like I said in the thing, they're like seagulls at the beach when somebody opens up the fucking bag of chips. Do you have that picture still, Dean, of the fundraiser list of all the fundraisers that are also? There you go. So there you go.
They got $4.5 million, and only Darcy gets $80.
These are all of the ones that are connected to that fundraiser. So there's not just one. They do this for a reason. They do this to try and cover their tracks. A lot of people, like we said yesterday, said that this has the markings of how they launder money to funnel into political campaigns without attaching the political campaign. Because if you go to the Maverick Party, you go to their website, that's crickets. There's nothing about this on their website. They're not supporting it publicly. And this is something they would be all the fuck over any other day if it wasn't for
adopt a trucker.
Yeah.
Adopt the trucker is a good
Well,
one.
and this morning we had a guy calling in.
How about this one? Line item number 6. I wonder if I will get this.
Yeah.
100 grand.
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
I almost want to send him.
We had a call this morning for somebody that was bitching that we weren't running a story about the trucker convoy. What are you mainstream? And it wasn't a call; it was a text story. And Grant's like, we just fucking did the story like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
we're talking about it. And he's like, everybody in the country is talking about this. Every mainstream outlet is talking about the trucker convoy.
No, they're not.
No,
dude,
they were.
You know what?
They were.
Dude, you know what's absolutely fucking hilarious? And it happened today. Stephanie Smythe from CP24, who I know and like, she's a lovely lady. She's put out a tweet and she's like, "Stop asking us to cover a fake grift." But for 24 hours ago, they covered the fuck out of it until they found out from people like us. No. They're raising money for a fucking bunch of anti-vaxxers who just refuse to get vaccinated. And this is legitimately a fucking major criminal issue. Like, I can't remember. Was it this one that you said? No, it's mental health and sleep. Not only is it a cause major financial issues, but like people are legitimately. This is the Convoy to Ottawa thread. Now, you sent this to me, Ryan. There are people in this convoy that are not truckers. They're just the same bad actors and assholes who just don't want to be told what to do and want the freedom of obligation, who just attach themselves to the movement. That's all this is. And their goal is to legitimately block routes to hospitals now with their convoy. That's and it's because of people like Erin O'Toole that have said this is real, and Alex Pearson, who I know way too much about, and she knows I know too much about her, who believed this, and we're like, this is going to end poorly. Let's support the truckers. It's bullshit. It's a lie. The shelves are fucking full. The people that are doing this are appropriating 100% of truckers and the work that they do, saying it's those guys we're protecting, when all the truckers are like, fuck you, I'm on a route right now and I'm making big change, big money, huge coin.
We've had tons and tons of supply chain issues right from the get-go in this pandemic, and it's all related to manufacturing. That's not sexy enough, and it doesn't scare people when you know that you can't get car parts, big fucking deal, or you can't get truck parts, yeah, big fucking deal. I don't care. Oh, I can't get bananas? Pardon me? I can't get my fucking Kit Kats? What? What'd you say?
Yeah,
my kale is not here? Yeah. See, now it has attention, and it'll get legs because that affects everybody across the board.
So
Alex Pearson was right, though. It did end poorly for them.
Oh yeah, for her. And then she tweeted again today, and she's one of several. And listen, there are tons of journalists that bought this because they were told by other politicians that it was happening and it was real. I know she's not a journalist, but she thinks she's one. There are a lot of people out there that think they're wrong. Guys like Richard Southern from 680 News might be one of the best journalists. Follow him. Don't follow those cracks. Don't do it. They're fucking bought and paid for agents of political parties. That is it. Anyway.
Follow the locker room.
Follow the locker room.
We giggle when we say caucus.
I'm still waiting for my George Soros money.
Do you still? Oh, are you really? I don't have any George Soros
when
money.
when Jimmy hears Grant say caucus,
he laughs every
I
time.
always thought that the Afro-Canadian politicians should start a caucus called the Big Black Caucus, but no one thought the idea was very good.
Yeah, that's because it's racist, kind of.
It's not racist.
Pretty racist. Yeah, it is.
Wow,
that is not racist.
Can I ask you a
It's
question?
complimentary, if anything.
Can we play a game? Can we talk?
Racist
Can we
or
stop
not
and play
racist?
a game called Racist or Not Racist? Perfect segue. Happened over the weekend during an ECHL game between the Jackson Icemen and the South Carolina Checkers. I think, I'm not too sure. Happened with a guy named Jordan Subban, PK Subban's brother, and a guy
he's a goalie,
named
right?
No, he's I think he's a forward, and
one of his
another
brothers is a
another dude named Panetta. His name's Jacob Panetta. Now I'm going to play you the video. This kid was suspended. You haven't seen it? Suspended immediately by the ECHL. He was released by his team. He says he was doing, oh, you're a fake tough guy when the refs come around. And Jordan Subban said he was making I'll just say it, a monkey gesture, like a gesture
Jesus
slur,
Christ.
like this.
Yeah.
So, no, well, hang on. Let's play the video because that's the whole idea. We're playing, was this racist? Here you go.
Then we'll
Now, there's the ass kicking. I'm going to play it again real quick. There's a scrum in the corner, and I want you to watch this Jacob Panetta kid come out and literally go like this. I am not here to pass judgment on how Jordan Subban interpreted that. So here it is again. You can watch it, but
can
watch
you put
carefully.
the screen so it's like this,
Yeah,
so they're not.
for sure. So you can see, here comes Panetta. There goes Subban. They're skating backwards. Now he does what he says is, oh, you're a real tough guy. There you go. Subban says, you made a monkey gesture.
Okay.
And then Subban legitimately, spends the next 2 minutes kicking the living shit out of that kid. So after the fight, he was suspended pending a further investigation. He maintains, as do his friends, as do the organization, even though they released him, that they believe he was not doing a gesture. He never made any mention of the fact that PK Subban was black. There was no verbal slur. It was interpreted according to people who were there, other players. It was interpreted like exactly as Jacob Panetta described it, which was, you're a fake tough guy. Jordan Subban says, no, you made a monkey gesture. And then PK Subban makes a tweet about it saying, yeah, they don't call the ECHL the jungle for nothing. and then he says it was racist. And I put that out as like just a thing. I can't pass judgment on it. I mean, only those two guys know. But is that racist?
Inconclusive. Because also the
Because
way he
if
was
that was
wearing
the
his
intent,
gloves,
yeah.
you know, the way he was wearing his gloves, he had his gloves in his fingertips, you know, that position that fighters get into when they dare the other guy to drop the gloves or when they're about to drop the gloves. And it makes the bottom of, if it was a tough guy thing, look like the hands are curled in as if like it was a monkey. I think it was kind of an optical illusion, but I don't think anyone knows except for Buddy and Subban.
I don't know. I think I'm on Subban's side there, watching that again. I mean,
I don't see
if
it,
it's a
though.
regular,
I mean,
to me, if it's a gesture, hey, tough guy, I don't know if that's my go-to. Like take the fact that he is that Jordan
look,
is black.
And Subban's
you're just
pretending
fighting
to
another
drop
guy-
his gloves too.
Yeah,
You know, he was dangling the glove there.
I don't
think
know.
I'm
I
on
don't see
Subban's.
that. Yeah, I don't necessarily see that, and it's funny because the shit kicking that this Panetta kid took after. You should see his apology video. He's got a massive shiner from it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But two things. I think context is important. Now, this. If he in the scrum, Jacob Panetta said, "I called him a fake tough guy. I did that in the scrum. I do that to a lot of fake tough guys in the league. You can ask anybody about it. I've never been racist and all the other stuff that everybody says when they get caught doing something that may or may not be racist. But if indeed that was the case, this guy's entire life is over, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's why I want to know. Like, I think the only thing that and we can sit here and armchair quarterback the whole thing, but going like this to a person of color, right? It's just a terrible idea to begin with.
Take that out of the equation. I'm not doing that to anybody. That's not a taunting thing. Like it's like that's why I'm sort of on the side that maybe it was a racist gesture because listen, I've been in lots of like fight scenarios in hockey, and none of them ended well, by the way, if anyone's curious.
How'd you do? Get your ass kicked?
Oh, I used to get my ass handed to me on a regular basis. I'm mouthy, so, but I didn't. By the time I got my hand back, I usually was punched 4 or 5 times.
You're like mouthy like Sean Avery, but you're the size of Chara. It's hilarious.
Stupid. But Chara could fight.
We
used to watch him in juniors. Holy shit. When he was a cougar, he dummied kids all the time. Anyway, I don't know if that is an act that I am going to use or a gesture or emotion I'm going to use if I'm in an altercation with anybody. Take color out of it. It just doesn't happen. So the fact that he did it to Subban, Jordan here, would indicate I agree with what Subban is thinking. I think he's right.
You know, it's funny because I wanted to have this conversation because I don't know, right? Like I watched it. You know, you can't everybody's sitting there saying it was racist, it wasn't racist, and depending on your color of your skin, your answer probably changes. But I think there are certain things like I think the fact that he's black, one of the only black players on his team, if not the only black player on his team, and he does that. I think you have to be more of present mind when you're dealing with everyone today, right? And for him to do that, whether there was intentionality or not, and this is kind of where I'm thinking, whether it's intentional or not, it can still look and be racially charged.
Yeah.
Right?
You're asking a lot for a guy that gets hit in the head a lot. You know, like you're asking a lot for him to do a lot of thought processing before he starts a fight on the ice.
Right.
I don't know.
I really think intent matters.
Yeah.
Because I remember we grew up with wrestling. We did this with the belt, you know, when you want to fight and everything. You did
he didn't do that.
Stupid. I know he didn't, but you did a lot of different things. And just because we're not familiar with the Hulk Hogan flex thing to make fun of a guy for being a wannabe tough guy doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So I look at that and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't think I don't know what his intent was. Did he make any monkey noises like a fucking idiot? Like maybe I have no fucking idea. But that motion alone doesn't look. It looks benign to me. It looks completely inconsequential. I don't know.
I disagree.
No,
That's
it did to
tough.
me at first too, but then when you start thinking, and intentionality is very important. Like I think it's the most important part of trying to figure out who did what and whether or not. Because what happens is we live in a world where someone can say, "Okay, you did this," and there could be video evidence of something like that, and then everybody appropriates the intention. Right? Everybody's
you
like,
remember
"Well,
that?
here's what he meant, and here's what he did,"
Remember-
and then all of a sudden, yeah, it's like, wait, oh, I always thought that was okay. Apparently, that's white
Yeah.
power, right?
Right. So then people were
W.
doing it and
But
finding
then some
photos
the
of people
most
from 10
racist
years ago
dicks I've
doing the
ever
white
seen were
power
trying
symbol,
to- I was
and
just
it
saying,
wasn't the
okay.
white power symbol.
Yeah, dude. I always do this with my kids when they're like, "Hey, Dad, can I do this?" I'm like, "You got it, no problem."
Yeah.
He says, "Way to go." It doesn't mean I'm into white power, but I can tell you what someone's going to do with this is they're going to take a still of me doing that, and they're going to
Yeah,
go,
that's
"Look
right.
at this fucking
at
racist."
Fucking
told
right
you.
wing asshole show that these guys are on. They were trying to get hockey players to
Yeah.
fight black guys and
Big
Oh,
tech
yeah.
bans
White
the entire
power.
network tomorrow.
Yeah, totally.
catch us on Rumble tomorrow.
White
You know, on
supremacist
Telegram.
makes fun of black kid that gets into a fight. Like, I mean, you'll see
Yeah.
it all. This is the world we live in. But that's my point, is that you almost have to be thinking that now as a hockey player, right? Or as a professional athlete. You
Everything.
cannot, right? You like everything that you do. And you know what? I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, I think people get upset because they're like, I don't want to change. That's too much to ask from me. You know, like I'm not racist, so that's too much to ask of me to think about this critically, to try to be a better person through it, to decide whether or not my cognitive biases play into the fact that I say this isn't racist because I'm also white and I'm tired of white. Like that legitimately is an argument that happens, and I have to explain, and I do it with my kids all the time, is that you have no idea what that person interprets something
Yeah,
as.
it's an empathy thing. It's
Right.
all based on empathy.
I think we are at a point where we sit and we overanalyze this so-called woke society that we live in. But let's just take a step back and take a look at it from history's sake, right? There has always been an element of a woke culture. There's always been an element of things you can and can't do, right? Like, I mean, I swear and say things on the air that I would never have been able to do 10, 15 years ago on a very similar show. But there are things now that we have to be very, very cognizant of from a woke culture. It's the times we live in. And you just have to be aware of the times you live in and the people that you could potentially our morality shifts, right?
Yeah.
We're not so much concerned about the religious side of things doesn't impact us as much anymore. But good Lord, I mean, 15, 20 or 25, 30 years ago, if I would have taken the God's name in vain, my grandmother, who wasn't even religious, would have slapped me on the side of the head, right?
You know, I remember doing
I think she was just looking.
I remember
for an
doing a
excuse to slap
break.
you.
10 years ago, I remember doing a break. We had a female boss. Like a break in radio is when you're talking, just so you know, break. We had a
We
female
do
boss.
long breaks on the podcast.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Hour and
We're
a
all
half.
really
Just
good,
one
really good at
long
breaks.
break.
2 hours. We love breaks. This is a big
Sometimes we
old
break a break with another break.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for a break.
And we had a female boss, and I remember we were talking about I don't know, some of the women, and this was on the air. Can you imagine saying this today? Like, you can say shit and fuck on the air and bullshit and all. Like, I never was allowed to say that then. Said everything else. Like, can you believe we have a female boss? How long do you think that'll last? I said that on the radio.
Yeah.
God, you.
Can you imagine saying that today? Like, there's this massive shift in how we think and how we feel. And unless you're willing to be part of that, like, and that's how I looked at the Panetta Subban thing, is like, listen, I don't find anything outwardly racist there, but I haven't talked to Jordan Subban.
Yeah.
I can't share that lived experience because I have an incredible amount of white privilege going for me, right? Like, I don't know those things. And so we have to be, I think it's the world asking us to think a little higher, think a little bigger, and also think about context, and then to defer to the person to say, what did you experience? Then you can draw your conclusion. But here's the thing. I don't even think fucking our conclusions matter, right?
No.
In this,
And
you
his
know, who matters
conclusion
is
might-
that kid and the
Right.
other kid. Yeah.
His conclusion might be incorrect. He might have been mistaken. The guy could have done it because of wrestling in the 80s, and he thought he was doing it because of gorillas.
He's still
and
wrong.
They have an impasse. He's
Take
not
that
still
out of
wrong.
it.
If he literally
Take that out
did
of it.
not,
He
wrong,
made
but
a
it's
huge
not
mistake
intentional.
and he's going to pay for it.
Yeah, there's a difference between intentionally wrong and wrong, right? Like he probably there's a decent chance, from my
He's
understanding
paying
of
for it now,
everything.
James. Why
Lost
the
his
confused
career.
look? He is paying for it right now.
I'm
He has been
No, I
removed
know.
from
That's
the
why I'm
team.
confused. No, but I'm confused because the hypothetical for me was if he literally meant to be like wrestling in the 80s move and wasn't being racist, then he's not wrong. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
He might have been
It doesn't
not
matter.
savvy in the PR, but he's not.
What Dean is saying is that the ship sailed.
Might not matter.
If he didn't mean it as a racist gesture, which let's just say, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He didn't mean it as a racist gesture. He did it in front of a black player. It was perceived as that by the black player. The team, the league, they've all fucking ruined this guy's career. So he is fucked up. He has made a mistake that he is going to pay for probably for the rest of his life. Let's say he's a decent player. Let's say he's a draft eligible player. There's no team that'll fucking touch him now. Even if
I think he'll play
himself
again.
Hogan or whatever the hell.
No,
He'll play again.
He's in the ECHL, so it's not like it's a fucking. It's not like.
But if he was a
get
prospect they thought was going to play, and that happened, and I think he'll play again.
That, by the way, I heard a report today from 680 News about the Olympics, about some of the players from that league going over to Beijing, and they literally labeled it as a very lackluster list of players here that was leaked yesterday, but just like it was like insulting across the board. So when you just insulted them there, and now they're just getting it from every end. So
you don't mean to
the
insult
wrong side
them.
of 30 is what I heard. The list. There's quite a few members on the wrong side of 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see that? Eric Stahls has made the team. David Desharnais. Like, you're going, where do you
Eric
get guys in the
Stahls, like-
ECHL, guys that play university hockey? You're like, whatever. Like, fuck.
No, we're gonna put Eric on.
Wait, Chelios out.
Yeah. I was going to say they got Wendell Clark on backup.
Eric,
Butch
tape your
Doring.
knee. Tape your knee. We're going.
Dave Lumley. Let's go, Dave.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Doug Gilmore.
Dougie Gilmore, Rick Mattress.
Well,
Everyone's
at
coming
first
out of
I thought
retirement.
Shane Doan was playing.
All right, Eddie Shack, you can come. Leave the trees at home.
That's what
he
I
might have to. Shane Doan is the GM of Team Canada,
better take
and
your
they told him
skates.
he might have to play.
Yeah, you better lace up.
Like if you
Somebody might
there's
test
a
positive.
COVID outbreak, you might be strapping them in, buddy.
All right, boys. We're at that portion of
what
the
I love
podcast.
That's what I
What's
love
that?
about this Olympics, though. You're going to see a guy on the team and go, "Hey, is that Shane pumped my gas last week?"
Good for you, Shane.
Holy fuck,
He
our neighbor's
made the
playing in the
squad.
Olympics.
Your gas
I was
attendant is
wondering
Jamie
where he was.
McCowan? That's awesome.
Hey, look at that. My accountant just won a bronze. We had a couple deaths I've been holding off talking about until Lachlan got back.
I noticed.
Time to play a little dunker pass, ladies and gentlemen.
Dunker pass.
Do we have music for Dunker Pass?
Oh, yeah, a little dunker pass.
Thank you.
Same music we
We
use
should
for
have
everything.
the Harlem
Dunker Pass.
Globetrotters music.
Oh, we should, shouldn't we? Meatloaf died this week, guys. And prior to dying, he said, quote, "If I die, I die, but I'm not going to be controlled by COVID vaccines." He was a lifelong advocate of doing whatever the fuck you want. Loaf, as they call him, Meatloaf, said last year to the Pittsburgh Gazette about COVID, "I hug people in the middle of COVID," and
Yeah, you
said,
do.
quote, "I understood stopping for a little while, but they can't continue to stop life because of politics. And right now they're stopping it because of politics." The singer went on to complain about being asked to wear a mask on a plane, stating that he didn't believe paper masks were as good as N95s. This is Mr. Loaf, by the way, opining about the validity of masks. At stopping coronavirus from spreading, quote, "We had to go on an airplane with the paper mask, and then on the way back, we got a Nazi saying, quote, 'Get your mask on now. Power mad,' he told the paper after the interviewer replied, 'Oh God, we're being controlled by everybody,' he said. The singer responded, 'Yeah, I know, but not me. If I die, I die. But I'm not going to be controlled.'" Loaf died at
Won't
the
do
age of
that.
74.
Not
Dunker
the
pass.
healthiest guy either. You'd think he would be a little bit more prone to a vaccine that would save his life from from what a lot of people are calling a common cold or flu.
It's just a cold, bud. Yeah, he died from it. But so
He passed out on stage last time he was here.
Yeah.
He also said when
Shit.
someone asked him about the vaccination, he was like, "I won't do that."
Yeah.
oh, we found something he won't do. Yeah, we finally know what it is. I won't do that.
So obviously this is a dunk.
So we don't.
Told me what I
Yes.
was-
No!
Anal? What won't he do?
Get vaccinated, dude. We already know. Dunk or pass? Lock?
Pass. It's me.
He's a
Pussy.
fan.
Pussy.
Dunking, but because of his music, not because of the thing that with the vaccines.
I'd pass
Stop it.
because of the music. I love his music.
Fuck.
I'm
I
doubling
hate
down.
both.
Vaccine and music. That's a slam dunk.
Jesus, you guys.
From the free throw line. Boo! Me too. I'm dunking on the loaf. Big time.
I didn't know he was an anti-vaxxer. I had no idea until he died. It's
Because he's
I was-
irrelevant. He was
Well-
only relevant when he died.
But big
Oh,
shout
no.
out to the
Okay,
rest
did you
of the
see it
Loaf
again?
family.
Did you guys see it again? Did you see the old? I can't believe he's like all the people that came out of the war. Every
With the
time
pictures?
someone dies, they're like,
That's-
I remember
that's a little
getting
too
my
much.
dick sucked to Dashboard Confessional Paradise Lights or whatever. The first 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Paradise by the
I-
dashboard lights.
Whatever. I'm not a loaf guy. But anyway, I'm dunking. That's big.
Okay.
On to the
Okay,
next.
Can I say this? Can I,
I
say
remember.
this?
Yes.
Listen,
yes.
can we do this? Can we just have this conversation quickly? Old
Yeah.
hipster Ryan. Everything that is
Hipster.
popular isn't bad.
It's
Like,
not
that
popular
fucking
anymore.
album sold 100 million
It was
fucking
huge.
copies. It was
20
one of the
years
biggest
ago.
selling albums of all time. Do you think that
That's
was
right.
like an accident?
No,
he was awesome.
No, it was great. Fucking 20, 30 years ago. Absolutely.
It's still good, man. I fucking
At least
heard
as
Bad
good
Out
as
of Hell.
Rush.
I turned
At least as
that-
good as Rush,
Rush
right?
sucks. They let Getty.
What do you
Lee
mean?
sing.
How many albums
Don't
did
let
they
bass
sell,
players
Lachlan?
sing.
Come on.
It's a fucking rule.
I'm with Locke on the music. I want to pass because I'm like a big Loaf fan. Like I love Meatloaf's music, but I don't think
Two out of 3 ain't
Meatloaf was
bad.
getting paid for fucking scientific advice. So,
No.
and to say, hey, listen, and you know what it did for me? It wasn't like fuck the vaccines. I kind of respected that. He's like, if I die, I die. Well, he died. Like. Again, you
know what?
win.
You
like,
know he was gonna die if he got. Like, look at him.
Well, yeah.
He probably
Looks
had
like-
about. He's probably taken enough medication to kill a barn animal. just
if
We
to
all,
that-
keep
we all
himself
knew
alive
that
and-
sooner or later he'd be fooling around.
If that, leave that up for a sec. If that OD
the only song I know.
didn't kill fucking Chris Farley, that's what Chris Farley would look like today.
you're right.
Yeah,
right
you
there.
know what? You're right. Well, Chris Farley, if he
Rob
didn't
Ford.
OD in his 30s, was not
Yeah.
making it to 50.
Okay,
That heart
next-
was gonna
next-
explode.
Next dead person.
Hey, by the way, we're doing a meatloaf cooking contest on the locker room on Friday.
I don't care.
All right.
1800 degrees for 3 to 4 hours.
Thank
All
you.
your
Oh,
ingredients should be
hold on.
people that have food in their names,
Ryan.
right?
Ryan.
Stefan
That's
Curry,
not true.
Kevin Bacon, Ann Rice.
I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
I do need your help because I am gonna do a moose meatloaf.
Very
Okay.
lean. You're going to need some fatty things in there. We'll
Okay,
talk.
all right.
Okay, can we
we'll
get
talk,
off
we'll
the
talk.
Moose
To the
Meat
Food Network?
Meatloaf? And can we
I
talk
can't
about
wait
our
to
next
cook my meat.
Dunker
Get your
Pass
aprons,
contestant,
guys.
please? Can we talk about the next Dunker Pass contestant,
Yeah.
Kelly Cannon?
Yeah.
Kelly Cannon from Arlington, Texas. She's dead. She peddled vaccine misinformation, died of complications from the virus, quote, just a few weeks after attending a symposium against COVID shots. Cannon announced on Facebook in November her employer granted her a religious exemption for the COVID-19 vaccine, saying, quote, no jabby for me, praise God, she wrote at the time.
Hallelujah!
Cannon was a prominent Republican, and more recently, she'd been an outspoken critic of the vaccine mandates and pandemic-related restrictions. In her final Facebook post, Cannon shared several links to speeches she attended at the anti-COVID symposium in December devoted to dissuading people from getting the COVID-19 vaccine. I'm sorry, she's dead. I'm laughing. That are currently available. The event was organized by, quote, God Save Our Children, which bills itself as a conservative group that's fighting against the use of experimental vaccines on her children. She shared similar content on Twitter. Her most recent post was how the coronavirus pandemic was planned and part of the old global conspiracy. Dead of COVID at the age of who cares. Are we dunking or passing on Kelly Cannon, ladies and gentlemen? Lock. Hammer time. He's
Can't see
dunking.
him.
Dunk. Jamesy.
I'm gonna pass because it didn't say that she made money off it. I only care about the grifters. She seems like the dumb follower.
Oh, you got a filter. for
Jabby
this. I
jab
like
got
it.
me.
Yeah.
Use jabby jab.
Yeah.
Dunk.
Yeah.
Jamesy has a filter for this. I like it. He's kind of explaining his judgments, which I like.
Yeah.
Linz?
If they make money, that's when I don't.
Is
like
that always a catalyst though, James? Like what if it was like
if they're
somebody
just
was
really
just
Subjective. Dunker pass is totally subjective. It's your
Yeah.
own filters.
But it's
No, I'm
like
just-
Chris Guy. Chris Guy was the dunking on, and that couple that we had on the show that probably attended a bunch of shit just as crazy. We wouldn't dunk on. So that's why I'm not
Yeah.
dunking on that lady. You know.
I like it.
Okay.
Okay. Linz?
No, you know what? It's she had enough reach to make it to the news. That means she probably persuaded a lot of people not to get the vaccine. And I'm with Locke. Anybody calls it the jab, you're a fucking idiot. Bye.
That's right. Okay, so we're dunking on two already.
She's not an idiot.
Because we're like 3 against 1, 3 against 1. So
Wasn't it
dunks.
5 minutes ago, Dean? You were like, 20% of us just don't have the brain capacity to be able to handle this pandemic.
Oh, man,
Can't hear you.
That was yesterday.
Oh, you can't?
What was true yesterday might not be today.
Wow, right.
Can't hear you.
Fact.
Having audio issues.
No, I can hear everything he said, and he's right. He's calling out
kidding.
my extreme hypocrisy on this program right now.
Correct.
No, I'm not, dude. I'm not angry. I'm
Are
not
you new to the
aggro. I'm
program?
not going after any of these people. I'm simply pointing out that each one of these people, quote, preferred death. Each of them, and they got it. So
Old Meat did. He said he did.
Dunkarama.
I just
yeah.
don't want to dunk on Meat's music.
No, me neither. I love his music.
Rocky
want
Horror
to dunk
Picture
on-
Show was a travesty. Everything about it was awful.
I don't care about any of that. I care about the real stuff. Okay, last one. Last but not least. This one's different. This guy's an anti-vaxxer, and he's a white supremacist. His name's Mervyn Shields.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
dead.
Oh, he's dead.
You sent this to me, Linz. I appreciate it. Mervyn Shields is dead. One
Bass
of
player, too,
England's
by the way.
most infamous far-right activists laid to rest after passing away from COVID. Big Merv was a leading member of the notorious white power Nazi band Screwdriver, where he played bass guitar for several years, so 3 albums. Big Merv hated anybody who wasn't white. Big Merv also hated talking about COVID, pretended it didn't exist. Big Merv died on the weekend of COVID, and I believe
looks
not
young.
one single. No, he's 50.
Yeah,
Not
he was in
one
his
single
50s.
person attended his funeral because he wanted to walk it alone. He said, redunking
Sorry,
or
Locke.
passing on Big Merv. What are we doing here?
We're dunking because he's a
I'm
Nazi, not because
Yeah,
he
sorry.
died.
It's I
We
I
keep
have
moving
to.
the rules around here, but I'll dunk with. I'll dunk with. I don't
Okay,
know
a
if he made any
pedophile
money
got
from it.
COVID. Dunk. He's not dead.
Yeah.
Dunk.
Yeah, I'm just on the sheer fact that he's got the same name as what I call my unit, so he's gotta go.
Big Merv?
Yeah, I'm taking Big Merv back.
Nazi? Oh,
You call your penis Big Merv?
Yeah.
ouch. I thought you called that
Do you have a
Nazi for a
name?
second.
Don't
Do you have a
you?
name for your penis, Dean?
Yeah, the Octagon. I do. I call it the Octagon. I call
Why, do you have
my
a stop sign tattoo on it or something?
no.
Is that-
I call my
Here we
I
go.
call my left testicle Sir Isaac Jewton, and I call
I haven't named
my right testicle Phil.
Is Phil the one that's full?
Yeah.
That's
why you got
Sir
the name.
Isaac shooting.
My
Phil
left
should
one
go.
is the one that is the pumper.
Bigger?
Yeah, and quite a bit
Congrats.
bigger.
Congratulations.
James, do you have a name for your dick?
No, I don't have a name for my dad.
Because he's not 12.
I can make it up now. I can
Yes,
make
out
up
of
several
all the
for you.
people
never-
here, you don't have a name for your genitalia. That is
I
unbelievable.
have a name for mine. It,
part of
it
me,
wasn't.
man.
It didn't come from me though. My wife calls mine Herb. 'Cause
Herb.
It grows. It grows.
Nice.
Yeah.
Merv and Herb.
Does she
Merv
really?
and Herb. Yeah.
How does she use it in the
Sound
sentence?
like
do
two
a
guys
puppet
having
show
coffee.
together.
How does
Sparsely? Is it?
how does
Sparse-
she use herb in a sentence when referring to your penis, Lachlan?
This
Sexy
is
talk.
getting a little personal. And
Yeah.
again,
I know.
my wife always loves it when we talk about our sex life. She's huge.
Well, I'm
fan
not
of
talking
it.
about the sex life, but like will she get out? You get out of the shower. She's going into the shower. Does she look down and go, "Hey, Herb"?
It's usually in this kind of context. Oh,
Yeah,
She scatters parsley from
Look
the
at-
bathroom to the bedroom.
Herb's having a look at me. Put him away. Not now. That's probably the conversation we would have more often than
really?
not, if I'm being honest, which I generally tend to have a bit of a problem with.
Why is Herb on my shoulder as I'm reading a book?
I have done that.
Me too.
Lachlan's never told us a story where his wife gets along with anybody he brings home. I don't think she likes Herb.
No,
Sounds
she
like she
likes
doesn't
Herb.
like Herb.
She's a fan of Herb, right? He's a
They
little
only take
too
him in
big.
small
I
doses.
don't know. That conversation's happened a few times. Where... Anyway, we can move on from there.
No, I don't think we do because
Everybody's
Darren
quiet.
says, quote, I call mine Howard Johnson and Joanne McLeod. Keep fit and have fun.
Participation.
That's perfect.
This is Daniel. He calls his dick Stanley.
Stanley. I love this. This is good.
Yeah.
I can go all day. Keep coming.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm
I know what the locker room topic of the day is tomorrow.
Yeah.
genitalia names.
We have actually done that discussion, I think.
Have
We
you?
had some pretty funny ones.
Maybe I don't
Dude, it's
remember the
easy
name of my
radio.
dick because you know how like you don't see your friend for a long time, you just forget their name and face. Maybe that's has something to do with it. I'm really sad.
Guys.
I'm not even kidding.
That was a good show.
That's a
today,
good time to
fellas.
wrap up.
Thank you.
On that
really good.
note,
Do you want to finish with Don Jr. going on a Coke fucking freak out?
Yes.
play this.
Love.
You know, can't put Joe Biden in the same room as someone. He might let one rip. Guys, Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Lachlan, does that not remind you of your impersonation of radio voices from 30 years ago? The way he says Joe Biden?
Yeah. A little bit.
Guys, Joe Biden
Joe Biden.
is what stands between us
Is there an F in
and a
us?
nuclear-capable China.
Okay.
Joe Biden is the guy they're going to call at 3 in the morning. Nuclear-capable China.
Let me know if this slur sounds familiar.
Joe Biden is the guy they're going to call at 3 in the morning. If there's a serious crisis with Russia,
So fucked.
Okay, here's my
So
question for
fucked.
you guys, and maybe you can answer because I asked this morning and no one has an answer. Okay, listen, take my opinion out of it, right? That's a powerful family, okay? The fucking his father was the president of the United States of America, and I know things are crazy right now, but that is like one of 15, 20, 25 videos from him where he is so clearly fucking railed on coke. Like, at some
is
point,
what stands between us
look at him.
and a nuclear-capable China. Joe Biden is the guy they're going to call at 3 in the morning.
It's a great point. Like at some point, one of the
somebody
most
sit down
powerful
and go,
people in the world looked at his phone and went, after 12,000 rails of cocaine, went, yeah, I should probably make a video.
Guys, his dad, that wouldn't have
Roll
cracked
it.
the top 50 of things his dad did when he was in office.
James, this is my point. Somebody
But
he
sees
hit it.
these videos and goes, and this is a serious question. All kidding aside, somebody in that family, somebody like like a lawyer, a family friend, somebody that gives a shit about what's left of any integrity of the Trump fucking name, must
would
have
that be?
said something to that fucking asshole and gone,
No.
Don, you have to stop doing the coke fueled fucking 3 in the morning tweet videos. You got to
No.
put it away.
They don't have that, dude. They don't have that.
Are you serious?
His dad doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. They don't have that. They don't have shame. They don't have like wherewithal. They don't. They don't care.
They-
also, which
then-
is important.
Yeah, and they also wouldn't surround themselves with anybody that said that was a bad idea. They're going to go and tell him, that was
Really?
fucking awesome. That was a great video. Good
Dude, if
for
you
you.
were friends with this guy, tell me, because you and I are wired the same way. Tell me if you weren't hanging out with him that night after watching him just blow through a ton of booger sugar, where he's like, I want to record a video and put it on the interweb. I'd be like this.
Okay.
That sounds like a great
Give me
idea.
your phone.
Don. Good.
Listen,
Let's get two
you
angles
and I are
going.
wired similarly. Hey, let me hold it.
I would be after the 5th rail. I'd be like, we got to record a series of these things, Don. I think it's really important.
We already have a logo.
That's
Show 'em the logo,
you
Stephanie.
and I. We're doing that because we're assholes. Like, I'm amazed that these videos keep coming out. And this is one of the worst ones. Like, clearly the guy's got a problem. And I've never been entrenched in that world for any length of time. But I'll tell you, I've had friends, and I know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
That is a full fucking night of booze and blow. That's
Yep.
all that is.
We had a whole like John Madden with the marker yesterday about all the different types of symptoms of being a cokehead that he displayed in that one video.
Yeah, I told
Yes.
James, I said before we go on the show, I said, hey, can you tell us straight the telltale signs of coke use? He's like, fucking right, I can.
I gotta go
Thank
back
you very
and
much.
watch that.
Everything
guy-
from the
was good.
drip tipping of the head, right,
Yeah.
to the numb
Oh my
teeth,
God.
because he probably is one of these guys, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got the mouth. He's got the coke mouth. Like
The jaw.
But he's
Boy
the only
40.
offspring of any living ex-president that could get away with that.
Yeah, our boy 45 is like, can you play it one more time, Dean?
Yeah.
It'd be my
So
pleasure.
he might let one rip.
What
Guys.
the fuck is that?
Joe Biden
Joe Biden.
It's a fart reference, by the way. So just let me take you through it. Joe Biden did. We talked about this yesterday. Actually, you weren't here.
Yeah.
Joe Biden did fart on camera a while ago. He did. It was funny.
is,
He's
you know,
80.
can't put Joe Biden in the same room as someone. He might let one rip.
Your dad wears diapers.
Guys,
I was just gonna
Joe
say.
Biden
Your dad shits himself.
His dad
because of
shits
all the
himself when
Adderall.
he sneezes. Yeah.
On purpose.
is what stands between us and a nuclear-capable China. Joe Biden is the guy they're going to call at 3 in
Yeah.
the morning if there's a serious crisis with Russia.
They got no PR. They got nobody behind the scenes
No.
that gives them any advice on anything.
No, and if he
Yes,
does,
man, yes,
if he
man,
does,
yes,
they're
man.
wired like us. Like they're wired like us. They're like, dude, we need content. Let's get this guy. Let's
Dog,
jack him
this
up
will
on
be
coke.
great.
Let's give him a bunch of booze and let's record a bunch of videos
You're-
in his kid's nursery.
And get
Okay,
in
sounds
with the
great.
fart. Get into it with the fart comment.
Guys, I think I'm starting with the fart joke. Do it, Don. Do it. It'll be great. You know
Open
what?
on
Before
that.
you do it, we've got another handful of coke. Sniff this real quick.
You know,
Make, here,
the
put
best
your
story
retainer
ever
in
would
too.
be if he was partying that night with Hunter Biden. That'd be the greatest. If they were like friends.
Yeah,
all
Yeah.
of a sudden.
they're critical of Hunter Biden.
Well, and
Fucking drug addicts.
yeah, one of the guys in the comments yesterday was like, "Oh yeah, well, let's see the video of." I'm like, if you can source me the video of Hunter Biden doing it, we will play
there's
it on the
probably-
show. We
Probably
will play it.
video out there.
Yeah, but I don't
Oh,
think Hunter
they-
Biden's.
Oh, Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden. The almost like 90% of that stuff that was being reported and then taken down was real. Glenn
Yeah.
Greenwald covered all of it. Like it was real shit, and it was probably real.
yeah.
Like, the second that it broke, it was easy to prove. But yeah, the media was
I
really
don't.
didn't
I
want
don't.
Trump
I
to
don't deny it, but I haven't seen I don't see him going on Facebook every day or Twitter
Well,
doing
and
rails.
Hunter, have you heard him after the fact?
Nuclear-capable China.
China.
No, I haven't.
He has. I've actually heard him in a couple of interviews. He's been sober. At least the last time I heard him, he was, and he had been sober for a while. And he talked about it. And actually, there's an interview with Mark Maron that's really good because Maron's an addict,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah,
has been clean for 20 plus years. I think maybe even closing in on 30, if I'm not mistaken.
I interviewed him about 10 years ago. Might have been the most impactful interview of my life. He is fucking awesome.
Maron?
Mark Maron, yeah.
Mark
shit.
Maron, yeah, he's an interesting listen if
Yeah.
if you're looking for a pod. But he did the Hunter and Maron didn't shy away from the conversation about his gong show, and Hunter was quite open about it. Like
Yeah.
very
look it up.
open. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the difference between Joe.
It's like,
That's the difference between Hunter Biden and Don Jr. Is Hunter's like, yeah, I'm a fucking coke maniac. Like I couldn't stop doing it, the booze
yeah,
and
it
the
was
drugs
Coke
and
was
stuff.
his, yeah.
And Don Jr. How is he addressing his coke use?
Joe Biden is the guy they're going to
Yeah.
call at 3 in the morning
Yeah.
if
He just keeps making these fucking coke videos. It's the best.
It's funny how with the sounds
What
we
was
kind
your
of
caption on
vignade
your
back to the
tweet?
beginning. We circled back to the first topic.
Caption on my tweet. Well, I think Lynn's put out the tweet. He's like, you don't have to do all the coke.
Yeah, that was me. I like how this podcast opened today and how it closed today. That's
a
what
good
I'd like
point.
to say.
Thank you, James.
The book
Handicap
ends here.
jerking off and cocaine.
Joe Biden.
Me too. Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Again, when we're canceled, we'll see you guys on Rumble
I
and
feel like we're
Telegram.
really finding our guys. I feel like we're really finding our sea legs.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm fired up.
I hope
we're
I hope
really hitting our
signal's
stride.
still around when we're
Dude, don't fire me, okay?
Deep
Put it back.
Dude, I joined I got to tell you. So tomorrow on the show, I'm going to tell you about it. I joined a dating app.
What?
Yeah.
You?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because a buddy of mine was like, "You got to get on it," and
okay.
I'll
Save
tell
it.
you.
Yeah,
Oh,
save
dude,
it.
it is hilarious. It's like one of the funniest things I've because I turned it on. You can do like a mode where no one can see you because I was like, I want to see how this works. So I got the thing and I turned it on. And I'm gonna do it for the month of February and I'm gonna report on it all the time. It is
Oh, I
fucking
love this.
I fucking love this.
hysterical.
No shit.
Can we get
Oh, yeah.
James? You need to write his fucking profile.
First,
Oh
you're
my
gonna
God.
do is I'm gonna write the profile.
Yeah,
Can I write the
that's a
profile?
fucking great idea because I haven't filled out the
James
profile or
writes
anything,
the
and I got a ton of hits.
Oh.
I got a ton
I
of hits
wrote one
already.
from my friend once a long time ago, and it was just bare bones honesty. I'm like, I'm just gonna be honest, okay? He's like, okay.
Yeah.
He's like,
The
my
George
name is
Costanza
Greg. I live
profile.
in a basement bachelor apartment. I work construction, and I only change my clothes 3 times a week. And he got enough messages from girls. I swear to God.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, "You're so
My name
funny."
is George.
And he's like,
yeah.
"Oh, true."
My name is George. I'm unemployed and live with my
I
parents.
live with my
It
parents.
works. I think it works. I don't know.
I did the
haven't-
same thing with my wife. I lived in my own city in a hostel, and that's how I opened. I'm like, "Hi, I'm James. I'm from Toronto, but I live in a hostel here."
Why does that
Right.
not surprise me that you
Hey.
spent some time in a hostel?
Anyway,
Thank
we'll
you.
do that
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Lachlan.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Write his profile for tomorrow, James.
I
will.
Can I?
Are you on the
can
show
I-
tomorrow, James? Or
No, he's not.
No, I'm not, but I'll send it to him.
Can I just quickly point out too that it is all I can do not to take screenshots of some people and send them to you guys going, this person has no chance with anybody.
ring those phones? Ring those phones.
Trust me, Gladys.
Let's
Honesty is attractive.
No, I don't think so in this
Let's
case.
not turn this
Okay,
into
okay, yeah, we'll do
a
it, yeah.
gaming exercise.
I know I don't want to do that either.
Joe Biden.
But I made my point
Everyone-
was I made the
There's room
account because
for
my
love
buddy
in
told me
everyone's life.
No, there isn't actually.
Joe
I've seen it.
Biden.
Trust me. There is no room for love in certain people's lives. I hope there is, but not like that. But my point is this: my buddy's like, you got to. It's the best content in the world, and so he was
yeah.
flipping through his thing, and he's like, get a load of this, and I'm like, I got to get one of these
Brilliant.
accounts. It's fucking hilarious. So it's not essentially for dating; it's essentially for the content, which is why I did it. But I'll share the stories with you next week.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Wait.
You know what? I am more excited now than I have been in months.
Same
I'm
here.
not even kidding. I
Sexy
I
time.
missed all this shit. Like I hitched my wagon early, so I missed all of this weird fucking
Right?
shit. And
Oh,
so
dude,
this
but
is
and I'm
like-
not doing
very
it to
excited
put
about
myself out there. I did it because I'm like, he's like, you got to get it. It's the best content in the world. And this is a buddy of mine who's a content guy too, and
No, you
we were
need
having
to
a
start
laugh.
inviting them over. Like this needs to take on the next level. Like we
I think
want
there's an
details and
entire fucking
encounters,
entertainment vertical here. I really do.
Like,
I was thinking about it on the weekend. I'm like, we could
shaving
do an
levels,
entire.
piercings,
Totally.
all this. Like
Yep.
this, like
Divorce
there's
parties.
a wide open field here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The potential is endless.
Yeah. So tomorrow, that's what we're talking.
Your communication with these women, these poor fucking women that are gonna
There's
actually
been none.
like
Dude,
swipe
I'm like,
right.
you get like a camouflage account in this one thing where it's like no one can see you, no one can look at your stuff, and they don't even know you're there. That's the level that I'm at right now because I'm just
Oh,
looking
stalker
through
level.
it, laughing.
Awesome.
You know
Like,
what? You know what
I
you gotta
can't
do?
help it. What's
You know
that?
what you gotta do? You gotta start taking dick pics.
Yeah. Old Merv.
I'm not doing your
God.
profile.
Take a picture of the octagon, put it
Yeah.
up there.
Profile anymore.
Engelbert
Guess what I
Humperdinck
call
needs to
this
get on
beast,
the internet.
honey? The octagon. Lighting, fluffing.
Yeah.
You got to put interesting things in the background,
The camera adds 10 centimeters.
As soon as I said I was,
like the
on a
shitting
dating
cat
app?
calendar.
do you want to? I'll show you how this works. As soon as I said I was on a dating app, even though it's just for content, I wouldn't have fucking told everybody if it wasn't. Jesus Christ, you're an idiot. Melissa's like, I'm deleting all my apps. So she doesn't want to date me, I guess. That's okay.
Yeah.
She
Sorry,
knows. She knows enough. If she's been listening, she knows enough that
That's right.
not
right.
accidentally. Yeah.
That's it. Have a great day. Lockman Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton is where you can find him. Thanks a lot.
I missed you, jackasses.
Yeah, I missed you too.
We missed you too.
We miss you too.
Happy
I
to
want to
have you
hear
back.
more stories tomorrow about you too, about you falling down and hurting yourself as
Fuck,
an
I
old
almost
man.
died
Happy
twice.
birthday, by the way.
Yeah, and it is
I
your
almost
birthday. I wanted to get
fucking
that
died.
in.
Oh, happy
you almost
birthday,
died. Yeah, Lachlan, 60 years old as of today.
I am
Congratulations.
52.
Congratulations.
52.
Big 6'2".
Oh, are you still doing that with the whole 52 thing?
Oh, it's cute.
Cute. 6-0.
I like your tweet. He doesn't look a day over 52, and I'm like, what the? I am 52.
Ever since they gave me the keys to that Twitter account.
That's awesome.
Oh, I knew that was you, Literally. I fucking knew it.
But listen, happy birthday. We'll talk about your ski trip tomorrow. We'll talk about being
Yeah.
60, what it's like still being in the public eye at your age, which is tough, right? Because of the skin tags and all the other shit, the liver
I
spots
got to
and all that
start getting
stuff.
some removed.
Yeah, I know.
Again, we got to go back.
So that'll be tomorrow. Appreciate you, brother.
That
Glad you're back. And you're
dermatologist
safe.
is going to
We'll play,
just
we'll play the
regrets
game.
me walking in.
Yeah, play the game, cancerous or not.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I
shit.
love that because
Lachlan
we
Cross.
played Is That Racist? We can play Is That Cancer on Locke's face. We could do it weekly because you're so
Yep.
old. Anyway, we'll talk about that tomorrow. At Ryan Lindley on Twitter is where you can find him and the Sheeple Shepherd podcast. Make sure you download, subscribe. Blackballed the podcast. James DiFiore. Please do me a favor and go and subscribe to Blackball the podcast and follow James on Twitter as well at James DiFiore. Thanks, buddy. Great to see you.
Jonathan K on Thursday and Sean Avery
I
on
can't-
February 3rd.
Very
Fuck
cool.
off. Good for you. Good for you. You got him.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Hell yeah.
I
He
got him.
loves me.
Thanks, guys.
He
I
loves
won't
me.
talk about you.
I know.
Loves?
not gonna-
Really loves?
No, hates me. Thanks, guys.
Oh, okay.
Appreciate you.
You're not going to talk Don Jr. out? Sitting there? You're going to ignore him?
Yeah, I think I'm done with him.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Good little laugh. See you, buddy. Great to see you. That is Ryan Lindley. The Sheeple Shepherd podcast. That is us. That is you. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the show. Really appreciate it. Doo-doo-doo. Don't forget, you can find us online at deanblundell.com, and you can see up pretty much everything that we do, everything that we contribute to the world of entertainment, all 100 podcasts, and all of our podcasters, all of our content providers, all of our blogs. Some good stuff up there. It's a nudist thing up there. What's it like to be a nudist? Who doesn't love being a nudist? And we broke the whole thing down with the Erin O'Toole trucker pictures, too. Fucking classic. But go to deanblundell.com and check it out. Thanks to our friends at Ed's Fine Imports. His gits are the ones we wear. You can get them and put them on your body. Go to edsfineimports.com. Order online right now and they'll send you a free pair of gits. GITCH3 is your promo code. Make sure you use that. And you'll be the recipient of a free pair of underwear, courtesy of my friend Ed. They've got a full online store. They've got clothing and men for boys, tremendous jeans, 34 Heritage. Go and buy his gitch. He'll send you a free pair. Truthfully speaking, the best underwear you'll ever buy, men. Trust me. I know I'm an underwear connoisseur. I love Gitch, especially his Gitch. edsfineimports.com. Domination.com been helping us do content now for a couple of years, and they're like a secret weapon for people that just don't have a ton of time to waste on doing like the minutia of production, if you know what I'm talking about, making commercials, promos, etc. It's AI for people that do this. One file will get you like 72 pieces of content you can use on every different format, and it's awesome. Great tool for you to have, free to use, free to try to use anyway. Then you got to pay. Not much, though. It's fucking super reasonable. Go to dmntn.com, dmntn.com for more details and try them for free today. And Easy Auto Financial, our friends at easyautofinancial.ca want you to get into a vehicle, and they get you financing. That is their specialty, subprime. If you got great credit, they don't care. They just want to make sure you get a car and the car that you want from the person that you want. It's all turnkey. They charge nothing, and there's no obligation. If you're looking for a car, looking for financing, easyautofinancial.ca is where you need to go. That's it. Sign up for our newsletter, deanblundell.com. Have a great day, everybody. Appreciate you being here. I really do. It's validating a little bit. Not like, oh, look at me. It's like, oh, people are watching. Appreciate you. We all do. You should feel appreciated today. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.